Let's touch our navigation items and adjust them to our new world in which we are now with routing. So in the navigation items here we have our links, our navigation item components, where we pass the link. Now here I already want to adjust something. We have the burger builder and the path indeed should be slash, but the second item should lead to slash orders and actually have a caption of orders too. Now inside the navigation item we also have to adjust something, because right now we're using a normal anchor tag. Now as you learned, when using routing I don't really want to do that. Instead I want to use the link provided by the React router. So from React router DOM, that's the package. But now I don't want to use the normal link component, I'll use navlink because I want to style the active link, and actually I want to use the default of having a CSS class named active, because that's the CSS class I have defined in my CSS file too. If you chose a different class name here, you have to adjust the class name which is assigned by navlink as shown in the routing module. Now with navlink imported, I want to use it instead of the anchor tag. Ref therefore becomes 2, and the class name isn't needed at all. We don't have to define if it's active or not. It will automatically determine this. Now here the closing tag of course also should be navlink. Now since we no longer need to pass the information whether that's active or not, I can go back to the navigation item and I no longer need to set this active prop here. So let's get rid of that too. Now let's save all files and go back to our application. And as you see, we see the updated navigation items, but we don't see an active item. Now let's hover over this item and you see that it has the active class. Do you know why it's not working? This is tricky to spot, but it makes perfect sense that we don't see this class having any effect. It is related to CSS modules. Keep in mind, the navlink automatically appends or attaches a class named active. And of course, we set up an active class here in navigation item CSS. But keep in mind that CSS modules will actually take our class names here and convert them into unique class names. Therefore, when we set up active here in CSS, it won't come out as active. It will have some hash attached to it. It will be unique. Therefore, active class attached at runtime by navlink will not match our active class. We can easily fix that though. The navlink element has one extra property we can set up. We can set our own active class name, as you learned. You can add active class name here, and here I then want to use classes active, again referring to my classes object which comes from my CSS file. This will now be the active class name as our CSS modules transformation spits it out. Now with that, if we save this, you already see it's now active because actually the class name is navigation item underscore underscore active underscore underscore some hash. This is our unique class name. We can also click on orders now, and you see we are on orders. It is active, but the first link also is still active. Now you probably can fix this. Definitely go ahead and do so. And otherwise I will show you my fix to this in a second. This of course is also active due to the way this navlink interprets the active route. Keep in mind that the to path here is what determines whether this is the active route or not, and it's treated as a prefix as you learned. So as long as our current path starts with this part here, this link is treated to be active. And for just slash, every route starts with that. So we can simply fix this by adding the exact route here, and with that we make sure that this only gets used if it is exact. Now, this of course will attach exact to all nav links. If you only needed somewhere this should happen, you could simply pass the exact property, a new property I just defined, to navigation item. And in navigation item, you can now bind the exact prop of navlink to props exact, so to the one you're passing in from outside. Now this will actually only be used on the first link with just slash and not on the second with orders. The result still is the same. Burger Builder is only active if we are on the Burger Builder. If we are on orders, then the orders are active. Now this is how we implement the links. Now let's make sure that we actually fetch the orders from the server.